most. What's going on?
Martin.
I agree. A couple of thoughts. First of all, you were right to raise the fact that two of the people under fire in Ottawa today are journalists. I just want to clarify they're former television journalists, and not print journalists or columnists. Number one. Number two, I think Richard reminds us of an important point. I spent about 11 years abroad for the Star, and I went from one corrupt country to another. When I came back to Canada in the midst of the Gomery inquiry, I didn't know what all the fuss was about. It was just a few $1 million here or there. So I may have a higher tolerance for scandal than most. But I have this theory, which I cannot completely prove, but I have a little bit of evidence, that Canadians sort of discount for scandal in the same way that people in the financial markets discount for low profit reports and profit warnings and so on. I think it takes a fair bit to truly shock Canadians, and more particularly to change their voting intentions. At a certain point, you reach a tipping point and people want to throw the bums out. That didn't happen, for example, in British Columbia most recently, where there was a fair bit of accumulated scandal about this, that, and the other thing, and they won re-election.
Or for McGuinty in 2011.
McGuinty had the e-health scandal on the books then. We've had the Orange scandal, which I think is a real scandal of personal enrichment by Chris Mazza. And yet that even doesn't have a tremendous amount of traction as a vote-determining issue in this province. One last thing, my little bit of evidence that I'm going to put forward, if anyone still believes polls. Forum had a poll in our paper a few weeks ago which showed that I think 61% of voters believed that the McGuinty government had misled them on the numbers, on the costs of cancelling those gas plants. In other words, they had lowballed the province. But a strong majority of Ontarians wanted the NDP to continue to prop up the government and pass the budget. A strong majority did not want the NDP to call an election. And if there were an election, a majority of Ontarians would vote for a Liberal government to be re-elected. So that's the discontinuity that you're talking about in terms of cynicism and public awareness.
Jordan.
Well, we should also try to separate political cynicism from cynicism about other institutions. My suspicions are that if you polled